Hello, and welcome to this week's therapy session with Michelle Halloween. I am your therapist tonight, Michelle Halloween, who is no longer wearing the orange wig. So that's because we're going to talk about the Halloween hangover. All right, enough of that. I had to do a little acting for you guys. So it is now, I'm not even counting the days, but we're going on, what is it, almost 2 weeks of Halloween 2021. And we're all feeling some kind of certain way. Some of us are okay with Halloween being over. Some of us are not okay. I'm not okay. I'm just going to put that out there. And with me tonight, I have some of my really good friends who I love talking to in the off season and during the season. And some of them are from LA. One of them is from Ohio. So let me just bring everyone on one at a time. And we're just going to talk our feelings out about Halloween being over. Also, thank you, Zachary, for letting me know that it has been 10 days since Halloween's been over. Is it over? Is it over? All right, let me start with my buddy, one of my very first inspirations, who actually helped me get out of my own shell back in 2019, Scardiecat Vasquez.
Hi. Oh my God.
Oh
How
my
you
God.
doing?
And we're
Oh my
still
God.
friends. And then
Exactly.
we have Avenue Obscura, who I wanted to take over for me when I left. My dear friend.
Yes.
And we have Daryl, also known as Shadow Slider, all the way from Ohio tonight. Woo!
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Just do some quick intros. I just really quick. Justin, tell everyone what you do.
So I'm a YouTuber and podcaster that goes around, experience all the weird, spooky things in life, and just talk about randomness. It's just yeah, that's basically it. Nothing really that special, but it's entertaining to some. It's fun
he's
to watch.
Hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious at haunts.
Thank
David,
you.
Avenue Obscura.
Yes.
What do you do?
So same, kind of similar to Justin on YouTube and Instagram as well. Go around to all the different spooky events. Anything of course, we always say unusual, obscure. We like to go experience all the really crazy things out there and then report back on them.
And Shadow Slider. Oh, I love this. I love you guys because you guys, we all do the same thing. You actually throw in a different flavor for this conversation. What do you do?
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel like the oddball out.
Oh.
Well, let's see. When I am not working the front desk at a hotel, I am a third-year haunt actor this year. This year makes my third season, and this was actually my very first full season as just not a haunt actor, but a haunt slider as well.
I've seen what you do, and I love the videos that you share with me. And no shit, my back hurts looking at what you do. But I also one of the things that attracted me to you instantly was the fact that you are a slider. Sliders are the shit when at Not Scary Farm or when they're running around at the conventions. Like, I want to do what you do, but I can't because my back hurts and I have big boobs and I just don't want to. Things hurt at my age, but so that's what you're there for. So the whole point of this conversation tonight was kind of just to go over something that I talk about every year is post-Halloween depression. We can scream, oh, we're Halloween every day, but no shit, especially the last now 2 seasons, it's been rough. Like, I don't know about you guys. Halloween 2019, I feel like I'm still exhausted from. That was the first year that I put myself out, into the world, as Michelle Halloween. Always been Michelle Halloween, but I actually made it a thing thanks to inspirations like Justin. And I honestly I carried that energy from Halloween 2019 through all of 2020 until Halloween of 2020. When 3 weeks into October, I was on my way to Vegas to visit John Massari. And it was funny. He lived at that time 40 miles away from us, but we drove 230 miles. There's my math for the night to go see him at a pop-up that he was doing at a store in Las Vegas. On the way there, my family will attest to you, I was not the fuck okay. I couldn't tell you what was wrong. I think that was the weekend we had just come back from Ghost of the Past, the Witches Brew event in San Diego, which was a great event, but this was pandemic, Halloween. Ghost of the Past was absolutely beautiful. Social distance, fuck. It was a great show. But I came home exhausted from that. I came home exhausted from Taste of Halloween. I know some of you, Justin, you or David, you did that. Justin, did you do that? And then
yes,
yeah, Daryl, I think you and I started talking in the middle of 2020, and you were already feeling kind of like, I don't like life. Like, when is it? What's Halloween going to be like this year? So
Yeah,
2020 got me. I got tired, and I started reassessing things, and then lo and behold, I moved to fucking, the Pacific Northwest, which I love. But I love it. I love the whole discovery. I think one of the things that, as people who put themselves out there, we're always looking for something cool to do in our surrounding environments that's fun and spooky. And which I found a plethora of it. Shadowplay, who has been up here, who I've been following for a while. When I told him I was moving in the Pacific Northwest, he was like, "Why? There's nothing to do up here." I'm like, "Prove me wrong. There's so much shit to do up here. It's not on the level of LA, okay?" Which was good for my mental health, because I didn't feel like I had to be at everything. I didn't have to be at 3 events in one day or anything like that. So it's chill. And so when I decided to just chill for Halloween, I had a great fucking time, because I was embracing the fact that it was cold here and it was windy. It was like fucking the Halloween movie and Trick or Treat. That's what I was like, fuck yeah. But I miss my friends. So I'm in this turmoil right now. Like, how am I supposed to fucking feel? And now that Halloween's over, I don't have my main Instagram, which I'm not that upset about, but I'm not okay. And I want to talk through this. So I'll start with you, Daryl. How are you feeling now that Halloween 2020 is over? 2021 is over.
I wish I still had 2 more weeks. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've learned that at Haunt, you make friends, but then your friends turn into your family. And to me, besides entertaining, I miss them the most. Like, I feel like out of my group that I am very close to, I'm the only one here in town by the park. Most of them are like an hour to 45 minutes away. Whoa. So it's one of those where it's like, okay, well, I can't wait until March because we're going to start practicing again. I mean, like, I'll see them for our Christmas party and everything, but like, it went by too quickly. And then, like you were saying about 2020, 2020 was a heartbreak to me, because 2020 would have been my 3rd season and this would have been my 4th season. Yeah. And it was one of those things where, like, I got to watch everybody else that I follow. They were lucky enough to go have their haunts and everything. I kind of caught a break, and I decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to practice, and here we are today.
I saw, and it's funny, because we were talking through that. Like, I was sympathizing, like, dude, this sucks. Like, I feel that. I felt guilty for going out to places because sometimes it didn't feel right. So I get that. We had a question, and I'll let David answer that one. What's the cure for the Halloween hangover? And be honest. Like, all of you guys pitch in. What is your cure? And then we'll get to your stories, about how you're feeling right now. So what would be your cure for the Halloween hangover?
Dia de los Muertos, right? You got to get
one day. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, honestly, for me, the cool thing is at least going into the holidays, you still get a lot of holiday haunt stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least nowadays we do, right? I mean, maybe not 10 years ago, but nowadays we actually have a lot more things that we can go. Like we were talking about last year, you and I went to Stranger Things after Halloween. That was in November. They actually had another Stranger Things like pop-up store this year, so we did that. A couple of the haunts bleed over into November, and then you got a lot of the Christmas stuff, the Krampus stuff, which I love. So immediately after, you still got some of the activities and some of the events to go to. But other than that, like horror movies. I mean, just you just got to go horror movie marathon, man. Like,
right?
And catch-up time.
Yeah, it exactly. is. And before I forget, with the horror movies, it was so funny because after I was watching, because I'm trying to write, make some time to write. And then my Instagram got disabled. So I'm like, well, then fuck it. I'm going to write, so I was watching AMC Fear Fest in the background, and I wasn't paying attention the last week of Halloween and what was out. And here I come. I think it was like November. I forgot what day it was. But I was fucking around with iTunes, and I'm like, oh shit, Candyman's already out for to purchase. Fucking The Night House is out to purchase. Which was a fucking scary ass movie. What else did we still have Chucky. I'm glad American Horror Story is over. That's a conversation for another day. But there was like a plethora of horror to get me through, but it only lasted one night because I legit watched like 24 hours of new horror movies. Justin, what is your hangover cure?
Denial. We don't put away any decorations. We still talk like if it's still here. And it's like, what do you mean Christmas? It's not for like another 2 months. No, I'm just kidding. I would say it's just the same thing. Horror movies, watch as many until Netflix asks, not if you're still watching, but why are you still watching? You know what I mean? Like Netflix is concerned of the amount. I know, right? The amount that you're watching of that. And I don't know. In California, we're lucky. I don't know how it is in other states, but we're lucky enough to have all year round Halloween store. Yeah. We have a few of them actually, because I think Halloween Depot is one of them as well. They're still open all the time. But ours is the Halloween Club in La Mirada, where Spook Show is held.
Love that place.
Yeah, and then I think it's just to plan for the other off events, like Spook Show as an example. We got Son of Monster Palooza. We got Midsummer Scream events and all that stuff.
Season Screamings,
Season Screamings, yeah.
And look at Daryl's over here like, fuck.
Yeah, like
time to move, Daryl.
I'm sitting over here like, let's see, I can.
You can crash at our place, Daryl. It's all cool. We'll welcome you.
Come
Hell
down.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm thinking about
this.
it because like here right now, I can tell you I have a whole bunch of horror movies scheduled up on. I might get blasphemed for this. I have yet to see the new Halloween movie. I've seen reviews.
You were busy.
Yeah, no, you were busy.
We'll let it slide this time.
I've heard reviews and everything, and you know what? I've been ignoring them because I'm like, listen, I've been waiting for another Halloween movie, so it's on my catch-up list. I can honestly tell you that in my mind, it's kind of sort of not over because my slider box has not been opened since I left the park Sunday night. It was actually, I was kind of sort of tempted. What was that, Tuesday here? Because it was literally like 61 degrees here. And here in Ohio, we live in a black hole of weather. So, I mean, it'll be 61 today and snow tomorrow. So like Tuesday, I was like, oh, I kind of want to go play. And my body was like, no, you've done this for 4 weeks. You need to relax.
Well, you actually got hurt too. Didn't you, right before the season started? If you don't mind me bringing that up, because I already did. Sorry.
Sorry. No, actually, this is very good because me and some of the other vet sliders were talking about this because one of them was there when it happened. So my best advice to anyone watching this who may want to start haunt sliding, do the basics first, and high-speed 360s will just rack your finger because that's what happened to my pinky in the off season. I was at a practice and it was literally a high-speed 360, which I shouldn't have been doing, but I tried it anyway. And I had the hand reaction to put my hand down with my slider, and let me just say that it hurt a lot, but it's healed up. I mean, it kind of still looks kind of dangly, if you can kind of see, but
you can kind of see like a little, it's like bending a little bit. Oh,
yep, yeah.
This is horror movie Hangover.
So yeah, there's that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here as a haunt actor. You kind of find weird bruises. I could tell you now I've got like 5 bruises, and only 2 of them I could tell you how I got. The other 3 I don't know.
Zachariah the Witch just put, don't move to LA. It's chaotic as fuck. I can't disagree with Zachariah.
That's
Zachariah
true.
are on another level. It I was talking to, I again was observing my beloved LA. I'm happy to be a visitor when I actually do go back. Because I'll be happy to come home. I love it here. Okay. I would be, if I didn't have such wonderful, you guys are my family. You're not like just friends, you're my family. So if it weren't for you guys, I don't think I would actually go back to LA. But I do have 2 kids there, but the thing is, there is an abundance to do in LA. There is an abundance to do, but it gets, especially during the Halloween season, Justin, David, it gets to be so much. And I think 2021, from what I saw, you guys seemed like you took it easy slightly. Like, I didn't see Justin in 2019. I saw you and I would be at like 3 events in a day, just running into each other. Like, oh shit, you're here too. Oh shit.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to be at these things. We just weren't sure if we were going to see each other. I was like 20 pounds lighter, and because I was sweating constantly, and wearing, I wear all black, and then in these wigs, like I was sweating, so I lost weight. So there was a health benefit there, but I was also drinking a lot, and I also was losing focus on what Michelle Halloween was supposed to be doing, because I was having fucking fun, and I was writing about it. So to me, it was, doing the right thing. But like I said, I carry that energy. But this year, you guys seem like you did take it back a little bit. Do you want to talk about that? Like, am I wrong? And you guys were at haunts, but I didn't see you guys on the level of 2019. And I know there was so much shit to do in October. Like, I was overwhelmed from up here going, how are my friends going to do all this shit? This is ridiculous. Yeah, and there was a lot of limitation, and that pisses me off. So, because like, how do you choose which one to go to?
Yeah. I'll let Justin speak on his, but I know for us, we had to be a little more selective this year. I mean, even last year, even though there was less to do overall, there was still a lot of things. So we kind of tried to do everything. And this year we said, we're going to be a little more selective. We're not going to go to every single event. We're going to try to, and we're not going to do like last year. Like you said, there were multiple events. You'd be at 3 or 4 different things in one day. And this year, okay, don't get me wrong, there was like 1 or 2 days like that, right? And I think Justin had a few days like that too. But where it was like, okay, we're trying to hit 1 or 2 things in one day. But overall, we decided to take it a little more easy. Not so much stuff during the week. Try to keep it to the weekends,
which is good. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got just regular.
I saw shit going on Mondays, and I'm going, the fuck you doing on?
Who's going on Monday?
We have to work.
I know,
that's
right?
another thing. Fucking everyone thinks that the Halloween community is rich as fuck. That these people spend all their money on this shit, so they must have it made. No, motherfuckers still work 9 to 5.
We make sacrifices. So many nights.
Sleep. I remember losing a lot of sleep, and I and then there's the other dilemma of like Daryl, like, okay, so we're YouTubers, bloggers, writers, press. Okay, we're press people. Because we definitely don't want to be disrespectful to the people that give us press passes. We want to go to your event and we'll check it out and whatnot. We want to be able to go to those. But then there's the dilemma I saw with a lot of home haunts and sliders and stuff. You guys see us, because our job to me is to cover it for people like you who can't get to it because you're there entertaining us. So there's always this dilemma of like, I was talking to Sawin's Lot in Rancho Cucamonga, California, before the season even started, and he was saying that he's gonna like open later and then take some days off, or hire someone, or have someone volunteer to watch his home haunt, which was even just a display. It's not even a haunt, it's a huge display, so he can actually go enjoy like Not Scary Farm or whatnot. So I'm like, well, that's smart, but again, this is an obsession. It's a passion. So it's worth it. I still want to know where the fuck October went, because I've blogged about this every fucking year. Here's October 1st. Here in an instant, gone in a flash. I half blink and that shit was gone. So Justin, what did you accomplish this year? And what didn't you accomplish? Are you okay?
No, mentally, never. But not just kidding. It's this year we got a good amount done, more than what I thought we would. There was one thing I did miss out on, was to return to the 17th door, because we went 1 year. We went 1 year. No, we went once, and it was a funny thing. I don't know if I told you yet. It was Veronica's first time attending. My wife, she's never done Extreme Haunt, so this was her very first one, and she loved it. She was like, it could be scarier, because she's a tough cookie. You know what I mean? She's a tough cookie, and it's Yeah, she was like more freaking out, not freaking out. She was more like annoyed that I was freaking out so much. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah, but
it's a common thing.
That's her tagline. Like, that's
Yeah.
you.
And yeah, but we were supposed to do like the extended field trip thing, but we missed out. A few reasons. Because we just couldn't make it, and two, I was honestly scared. Because like I felt like this year and like I feel like this year, sorry, I lost track. I felt like this year
Happens to me all the
the
time.
flashbacks of the haunt like kind of got me a little bit. No, it's like I felt like this year the scare actors were just going more extreme than usual. Like I was to the point where it's almost like I'm excited to see my friends who are scare actors, but you're kind of hurting me right now, so I'm not really that excited to see you. So I don't know, man. Like, are you mad at me or something? Like it was like I understand why though. It was just kind of like, you know, when you hype up a dog saying, like, we're gonna go on a walk, and then like as soon as you open up the door, they just rush right out. It's like, oh shit. It's so that's
you
why. But
literally just described every weekend of haunt, because that's how I was every day from September through October. Like, you know, it was, I would get to the park, get to where I would have to get. Sorry to interrupt, but
no,
I would.
no, I was actually going to ask
there.
you too, like for your point of view of it.
Like I would get in makeup, and it was like, I'll be completely honest with you, it was the walk from the parking lot to where we go stage at. It's like the switch clicked. Like I was ready. I was like on go mode. There was no stopping me until like, even when we got back at the end of the night, like we were still going when we were walking back from our zones. I can tell you a few times I may have accidentally scared a few people just because like it was, I can tell you that like, yes, I still had my Monster and my Red Bull along with my ibuprofen and everything, but honestly, it wasn't needed this year.
There we go. That's good.
I went to a haunt this year. It was the funniest story. I went to one of the PNW haunts this year, which I was, you know, Chuck and I were saying, we're not going to expect anything, you know, like our snooty LA. I wasn't trying to be snooty. I really just wanted some good, humble fun. Okay. Like, oh, I can go to a haunt without being recognized. That was not the case. We went to this haunt, and it was at this Oaks amusement park, which is really cool because it's like Scandia plus the LA County Fair plus it's just awesome, like a boardwalk type of thing that you would see, you know, like in Lost Boys, right? So because it's on the river, on the Willamette River. So we go to this haunt, and I knew one of the scare actors, and I knew him because we were at the Vancouver Farmers Market, and I saw a dude wearing a Halloween shirt, so I had to go talk to him and buy some of his honey. I ended up yapping for like 2 hours because that's what we do when we see, you know, one of us in a normal-ish place, which I have to say the Pacific Northwest, from what I've encountered, there's nothing basic about this place at all, which I love. I mean, there's a little bit, but there's not like the abundance of where I came from. So I go to this haunt, right? And immediately I'm like, oh, they have fucking they have Halloween 3 plushies. I want those. Get those for me. Chuck got them for me. Then we end up seeing this dude who we befriended, and no shit, dude, fucking I don't even know how to describe what happened. I was just being myself. I had my family. And the next thing you know, Michelle Halloween is here. How do you know me? You know, like I've been out, but I haven't been out. Okay. All right, fine. You know, just one person, not a big deal. But he was like, no, get in our family picture. And here I am in this picture. I wish I should have brought it downstairs. Let me text a kid to bring it, and I'll put it up on the screen. Can you text a kid to bring the pictures down from my table upstairs?
You don't even specify just a kid.
Yeah, get a kid. So
any of them.
I was in this family picture of scare actors. Okay. And then we went through one of the mazes. There's 3 mazes, which again, I ended up being very fucking impressed with. Like, these were good. For the amount of money that this haunt was, the haunts were fucking good. They put their heart into them. So, and I actually got fucking scared a few times. But here is what happens when you're known and you go to a haunt, especially you, Scardiecat. You know what that's like. David, you know what that's like. But I feel like
Mhm.
Avenue Obscura is like walks through these haunts, and you're often taller than everyone else. So you're like, they're like,
yeah, it's hard to intimidate
scare
me,
you,
right?
right? But
Every
it's
haunt
like,
that we went to together, me and Dave, I hid behind him. I know
you?
that's like the spot for his wife, but I took it over because I was terrified. Like, you know,
yeah, Jen was with
Oh,
her.
You were like my prime
Yeah.
target. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Oh, really? Challenge accepted.
there we go.
You know,
it's
but
Yeah.
it's the getting all like this and like you kind of spot it and you're just like, I'm coming. You just don't know yet.
There we go.
well, and that's what I love about sliders is because they get you and you don't even know, and before you know
Yeah.
it, they're gone. So you're like, what just
Yeah.
happened? You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
But yeah, so I'm going through this haunt, and then we hear, oh, Michelle Halloween is here, and I'm going, I'm not mad, but I'm also like, this is fucking awesome. But you know what I mean? But I was kind of, I don't know, my mental health is fucked. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. My shit is fucked up right now. You know, intrusive thoughts. Now that Halloween's over, I don't have that distraction of like, oh, you know, where am I gonna get pumpkin flavored whatever today? Or you know, I do a lot of, like I did the show with Bianca, Spooky Melanin Magic, where we're going through the autumn checklist. There's so much to do in October. I'm distracted by it, and I'm wondering, you know, Daryl, you were saying that you get it, something clicks. I think what that click is adrenaline and pure fucking happiness that we don't get all year long. We can live Halloween every day. Okay, we do live Halloween every day. I have a whole basement full of Halloween shit, but it seems to kind of dim. It dims a little until that moment comes. And I've had my shit up since we moved. That was the first thing I unpacked was my Halloween shit in my bed, you know, in the coffee machine.
Excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back.
No worries.
I'm sorry.
You got to do your thing. Don't worry. Daryl's actually working, so it's pretty cool that he's joining us.
Mhm.
But but you know what it's like when you first turn on your first jack-o'-lantern. You know what it's like.
Well,
so,
you know, the Halloween lights become the Christmas lights, right? So like,
yeah, they do.
the orange and purple and red and green, they just turns into Christmas.
They do. One year I think I wrapped some like actual Christmas lights around a skeleton, and I was like, I'm done. Christmas decoration is
There we
over.
go.
But I really do enjoy
Sorry about that.
no worries. I actually enjoy, I don't like Christmas for what everyone else like. I don't want to buy gifts for people. I mean, I love my friend, but I want to buy gifts for people I like my kids and my husband. But then again, my husband and I, we get our own shit all the time anyway. So we're also like, fuck it, just let us drink old fashions. And
It's more about having fun with family and friends.
Friends, family. I could give a fuck. I'm glad I am not going to be around family. Like that was one of the pluses of Christmas last year is I'm not doing family, and I'm not doing it this year. But I have, the people who are important to me. But it's like, what do we love about Christmas? Well, first of all, the last few years, I think it was 2015, Michael Daughtry's Krampus movie really kicked off some shit.
That was one of the best movies.
And people disagree. I for one don't hate anything Michael Daughtry does. I was very pleased with Krampus. I was very pleased.
That was one of the best Christmas horror movies I have ever seen.
Right?
I might, maybe other than Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's like number 1 or 2.
It's definitely my top 3.
For sure.
I remember, Justin, let's reminisce a little bit. Justin, let's talk about so part of the hangover is the fucking holiday season. I hate to admit it, but in my experience, I don't know what this holiday season is going to be like. In my experience, one of the best ones I had was 2019. We all rallied as a horror community before we all kind of went our separate ways. We went to what was it? Twisted Christmas at
Twisted Christmas. And
I was fucking trashed by the time I got there.
I remember
this fucker. Yeah, this thing.
I think Chuck dropped like Mountain Dew down my back when he hugged me and stuff. I remember how cold it was.
We don't drink Mountain Dew.
Not Mountain Dew. I'm sorry. It was Monster. It was Monster or Red Bull.
Or me?
It was one of y'all was drinking an energy drink, and when we came in for a hug, it went down my back, and I was like, "Whoa!" It was cold.
But you know what it's like. Chuck is always he's the driver, making sure Michelle doesn't wander off in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
making sure Michelle doesn't do everything. That was the year that I was molesting people's beards.
Yeah, that's I
I'm with
remember
you,
that.
Zachariah. Yeah, remember I was molesting people's beards. It
Shout
was
out to
just a lot
Ernie.
of fun. Right? Oh yeah, that was when I molested poor Ernie's beard, and I'm like, I apologized for. He was like, Michelle, it's fine, because Ernie is so sweet, like,
Mhm.
and humble.
I need to
and
come
I'm
your
like,
guys' way and decompress after haunt.
Dude,
well, and
Yeah.
that's,
I'm
you know,
telling you, man.
We got
Well-
holiday events and beard molesting. You love it here, dog.
and drinks. But
Oh, yeah.
here's the thing: the horror community in LA is, I guess it's definitely different after the 2020 debacles and everything else. It is definitely different. I think one of the events that we went to together during and after the pandemic's still going was the Witches Brew. And that's one of the things I love about the Witches Brew events is because it's not for everybody. You know, it's an intimate crowd of genuine weirdos where we all convene and we have just a fucking blast and have a bunch of drinks. But, you know, Daryl, I'm not there right now. So I'm not doing what they're doing. But what I am doing is watching my friends like David and Scardiecat Vasquez convening together with like Nikisha and Sal and, you know, everyone's significant other is there. I love that right there. Gives me everything. Zachariah just mentioned that even Zachariah, you had a pretty rough beginning to your Halloween season. Zachariah, I'm with you on this, especially this year, that November is the lull time, which does signal death and rebirth and planning our next power move for the coming year. I cannot agree with that more, because usually I've been fucking around. I'm sitting there, you know, communicating, making sure my friends are okay. This year, now that I don't have the distraction of 4,000 something followers and a bunch of bullshit to look at, because I'm only this whole Instagram debacle that I've had has actually given me the opportunity to focus on my friends. You know what I mean? And actually focus on what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to keep doing the same shit every year because it gets boring. But yes, the Witches Brew is one of those events in which I learned Witches Brew is expanding to other states. So, Daryl,
Nice.
living in Ohio, where trick or treat was actually based upon, you know, I would think, you know what? Let me find some shit for you. I bet you we can rally and find some shit for you before you come out.
What was I gonna say? Last 2020, because we didn't have haunt, and I wasn't one of the ones to go find another haunt. Actually, was my first year. I have an 8-year-old son, so it's really cool now to watch him, because like this year he was so stoked to come to Halloween weekends. I've even heard him say, "Hey, guess what? My dad decided." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's great." But but last year it gave me that. Last year with the pandemic and everything, and taking him trick or treating, it gave me that drive to where I actually threw together my own costume. I put my pads on because I'm like, hey, you know what? If my son at this time can go out and find a way to go have a good time, I'm going to go do the same thing as well. You know,
Yeah, and we'll get into like tips on how to keep it Halloween every day. But first, really quick, I was able to actually get some input and some words in from one of my fellow Halloween queens, Spooky Little Halloween, Miranda. Let me play this video for you guys really quick, and then we'll get into tips on how to ease this uncertain feeling that we're all feeling. Play that video. Am I doing it?
Hey Michelle, thank you so much for including me in this evening. And I'm so sad that I can't join you guys live. Part of my post-Halloween celebration has been catching up with family and friends that I didn't get to see as much in October. So that's where I am in real life this evening. I am so glad that you guys are having this post-Halloween blues conversation though, because I think that's something very real that a lot of us who genuinely love this day feel every year. I will admit I'm feeling it a little bit less this year, probably because I still need to undecorate my entire apartment back over here, but I'll come next week, I'll be right there with everybody. I know for me, Halloween 2021 was a major pickup from last year. Not everybody was feeling the same. It was still a little bit all over the place because of the big P word that we won't say. But for me, it just was a really fun opportunity to try some new things that I haven't done before. And that's something that I'm carrying into my plans for Halloween 2022. Yes, I am already working on those. The magazine that I printed this year will be back in expanded edition. I have a few other exciting things that I won't share just yet, but one of them I will tease. I might be creating like a secret clubhouse for Halloween lovers on the internet. I don't know. More to come on that very soon. You guys get back to your conversation, and thank you again for including me. Enjoy.
secret
I think the
clubhouse.
big P word.
I'm intrigued by the word
Yes.
clubhouse.
Well, the big P word, I was like, penis?
Okay.
And Zachariah's right there on there with me. I was like, the big P word. Like, what was Miranda's? What was she
There
talking
we
about?
go. I think if you have one of those, you can get over anything. Nothing's gonna affect you. You're gonna be fine.
Or the female version of it, you know, the
That
femme
too,
version,
yeah.
the-
There you go.
If
don't
you're
know if
getting
that's
some
allowed to
type
be
of
said.
loving like that, then you good.
Well, one
You'll
of
get
the
over
things
it.
that I was like, okay, so how do you distract yourself from depression? I definitely say you
Hold
got to
on,
do it again.
Maurice.
No worries.
Mhm.
One of the things that I say is Ray Bradbury's book was Medicine for Melancholy. And I remember the first time I read it, it's literally sex. You know, sex is a huge, it's too bad you can't do it, you know, the duration of what an antidepressant would give you. I also hate antidepressants. So,
Well, I mean, you
But-
could, but
you could, but yeah, I get tired and sweaty.
Be
I'm
really
really out of
tired, yeah.
shape. You know, I was just informed I'm a mouth breather. So there's all that shit. But let's, you know, I think a lot of it, the big P word, I think she really meant the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, the pervs I knew, I was like, yes. But one of the things is planning. That's another P word. Planning is a good one. Planning for next year is because as creatives, again, October arrives and it's just fucking over. Sometimes I panic on October 1st because I'm like, fuck. So
Yeah.
it's important to plan your shit out so that way you're not overburdened. And that's one of the things that, you know, me who's done a lot of shit on the fly for the last 2 years, I am actually fucking organizing my shit and timing everything because come Valentine's Day, which I hate, it's an opportunity to Halloween because
Mhm.
I'm not going to give away my plans for that day or that time period, but we can make that Halloween, we can make it spooky, and we can make it like fuck love. Love is great and all, but it comes with a lot of fucking shit. Like love is I remember who told me, it was a friend of mine that said love is definitely deceptive. Love is a lot of worry and it's a lot of fucking pain and it's a lot of compromise. It's a lot of things. It's not just this one thing like, oh, I'm in love and that feeling lasts forever. No. So planning is important thing. I don't know how many Valentine's Day that had passed where I was pissed that I didn't have, you know, the short stories that I've been planning to write for the last 5 years out on Valentine's Day. I want that for Halloween people. Something to read that doesn't have to do with fucking the fucking Zales commercial. Bitches, we don't want diamonds.
No.
Us weird bitches don't want diamonds. I want fucking blood. Okay. Love is very complicated, but we'll get into love on Valentine's Day. We'll do that show. Veronica, me and you.
No.
We'll do that
I'm
show.
lucky to have a woman. She doesn't want diamonds, like, but she more likely would want like tacos or like something else. I don't know.
Are you mad about that? Tacos
No,
are
I'm saying like
amazing.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have that. Like I
I
don't have to worry
hear
about going
apparently blankets are a big thing now, or have been. I
to.
don't know.
Yeah, it's fucking
I've-
cold up here. I want blankets.
Ooh.
I've just seen across my
Zachariah's like-
social media. Give me a blanket. I'm like, okay.
Zachariah, put your Venmo info on there.
Ooh.
Misfit Nightmare says it sucks, especially for single people. Like, here's the thing about being a Halloweener. Okay, and especially in this little circle here. In this circle, this is why Justin and I have lasted some tumultuous shit during our friendship, even. And we're still fucking friends, dude. Like, I know I'm not easy to be friends with, or I'm also easy to be friends with, okay? But here's the other thing. I forgot where I was going. Sacrifice, okay? You have to endure shit. And we have to lift each other up. When I am depressed and I'm down in the dumps, and I think about other people, how they feel. So when I look at like Valentine's Day and I'm like, what about people? Like I'm actually, I'm not even a content married woman. I'm a happily married woman right now. I don't think since I first married my husband, I've been this happy and content with him. And I think it's because we've got to spend so much time with each other during the pandemic that we're like, okay, this makes sense. You know what I mean? Every marriage, every relationship goes through all this shit, but I always go, Valentine's Day, I always thought, what about the single people? So what we do as Halloweeners is we embrace the weird, we embrace the obscure. Single people on Valentine's Day are outcasts, they're black sheep. So let's make something fun for them, right? So that's my thing. And that's, to me, is incorporating Halloween into every day, because I will make this shit fucking Halloween and throw a pumpkin in it. You know, I loathe summer. I think I've made that fucking Veronica. Or was that Zachariah? Shut up. We probably will sit in a tree and drink fucking hard cider. And Chuck and I will sit here and literally we did this on Sunday, watching fucking raindrops fall into water while we're fishing. Like, we didn't catch nothing, but we were fishing. Yes, I fish. But you know what I mean? There's ways to make Halloween every day. I think Christmas is a good opportunity, because the way I look at it is a big fuck you to the Christmas people who are invading our shit come September. I hate seeing Christmas stuff, even just like nudge its way in into these retailers.
Keep that.
That's another reason I'm not in retail anymore.
Yeah, it's so infuriating.
That has no place in October.
We do love each other. Most of I have to say, this move has definitely made things move. But again, it's not a Valentine's Day conversation. It's not a love conversation. It's love for Halloween. But I know Christmas is a big opportunity to give a big fuck you. Like, I want to spill. I have this shirt from Darklight that I got in their box, their mystery box this year. It says no treats, just tricks. And I was like, let's fuck up some Christmas shit. And I will tell you guys after the show. Oh God, no, they didn't. No, they did. That's rude. They don't even observe Dia de los Muertos. That's rude.
Yeah,
and that's just it's capitalism. Yeah, it's capitalism, and that's that's it. It's a Christmas fucking demon. I don't care if it's a Nazi. I do care that it's not Krampus stuff isn't Nazism. It's not white supremacy. It just happens to be from Germany, but it's a bomb ass fucking folklore tale. Okay? Fucking Krampus is the shit, dude. It's scary, and it also it didn't work with my kids, but I threatened them with Krampus. It didn't work. They were scared though, but not scared enough to not be assholes, and they still get everything that they wanted. But now they're like, bring it. Krampus is whack. And I'm like, Krampus is a big gift, I think, for us. Because we can also give Christmas a big fuck you. I love Christmas for the simple things like the lights, the peppermint mocha, old fashions, frosted cranberries. And also there is Christmas horror, because how many of us have had like depression and stress that we didn't need? Trauma from Krampus made me realize what some of my fetishes are. For real, I haven't shaved my legs in 2 months just because I want to do a Krampus photo shoot without having to buy leggings. I'm going there. Christmas could be the beauty. I'm with you on that.
Shout out to old school Sinister Point too. I don't remember if you guys remember that, but they used to always do Christmas event.
17th Door did a Christmas thing too, and that was insane. It was gross too. It was god.
The same place that does the Blood Prison does a Christmas thing. I don't know if they're doing it this year or not, but from what I heard, it's really good.
Those events are some of my favorites.
Right?
They get real creative.
And it gets to the point where this feels good, because it doesn't have to. I don't know. I felt like for a long time I had to play this role of like, be the Christmas happy mom, holiday cheer. Now it's all about Yule and now Krampus. And I love the fact that it was a pagan holiday stolen by Christians. Well, motherfucker, we're taking it back, motherfuckers.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing about being what you call the Halloweeners. It's very punk rock metal type bass. You know what I mean? Like in Christmas is like the prude protesters that say we're listening to the devil's music, we're doing the devil's work, when we're obviously not. I don't know, but it's like
you stole it from us.
And it's like with us being the way we are, it's like it's good to like be able to have something, whether it be Krampus, whether it be like just like a twisted like version of Rudolph, whatever have you. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's like it's good to have that, so that way we can be like, hey, our holiday's over, but we're not over yet. So
Yeah,
when
and
you
we're not
guys
over
interfere
all
with
year.
us, yeah, we're gonna interfere with you now. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
wonder.
That's right.
eye for an eye.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like you came fucking with our Halloween merch and shit that we're trying to
Yeah.
buy. You know, I predict in like 5 years, Spirit's gonna sell some Christmas shit, and we're gonna have a revolution.
Oh no.
We will have a revolution
Hey,
because Halloween
Spirit
was
might be a
inching up there.
24
Or
might be a
24 or
365
365
thing.
We
yeah.
have Spencer's. We're
Really?
good. I don't want that. You can read about Krampus. I have some book recommendations for you. Watch some films. There's a lot of films on him too. But it's a pretty simple thing. You know, don't get into like the Legend of Saint Nicholas. You know, Santa. I mean, Santa's cool because it's a big fucking lie.
Yeah.
Anyways,
still
but
heartbroken from that.
Anybody who wants to know about Krampus, go watch the 2015 movie.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that movie's so
It
good.
It does a good job of kind of explaining it like real pared down, and yet still being a great horror flick.
Right. It's such a good movie. I know
really
it gets
is.
a lot of hate, and it gets a lot. I'm sorry, Michael Daughtry can't do anything wrong to me. So, but I love that. It's a staple. It's a staple in my house. But then we've also started incorporating some other Christmas horror, like the American Horror Story was doing the stories, the short stories and
Yeah.
stuff. So they had some bangers. Most of them are whack, but they did have some banging stories. And one of them was that
Good
Christmas
ones.
episode with Danny Trejo as this
Yes.
murderous Santa.
My God.
It was fire. The first person that actually replicates that tree, that Christmas tree, I don't know. I'm gonna send you a sticker or some shit like that. I don't know.
Boom.
But really,
I just have a long list to watch.
you do. We're gonna have to catch Daryl up. So when you're working, and this is just it. This is what we do. Even though you're in Ohio, we're on this other side. This is what I've learned this Halloween community does is that we could be worlds apart. I mean, I have friends in Italy. I have friends in New York. I have friends all over the place because in my American Horror Stories was the Christmas there was like that, and the drive-in one was pretty good. I like the drive-in and I like the Christmas one, which surprised me. I was like, the Christmas one was one of the best ones. It's rad. But that's Zachariah. You and I can talk about American Horror Story next week. But what I do love is that as Halloweeners, in my depression, when I'm upset, what is the first thing I do is I reach out to my fellow Halloween. Hey, how are you guys doing? You know, whether it's November 10th or July 15th, I reach out. And what I've learned is that reaching out actually ends up spreading I end up reaching other people. So that way we kind of we're our own therapy, we're our own therapy group. So that's one of the things, D, when you're feeling some kind of way and you're just like, fuck, I want my haunt shit back, reach out to us. I mean, yeah, we can't be together all the time, but at least we have the conversation. We don't have to write letters, which is fun too, but we can just hop on a DM conversation or a video chat. So that's one of my cures for my Halloween hangovers. I haven't felt a Halloween hangover until now. I think mine was combined with losing my Instagram, which I still don't know what's up with that. And I'm going to leave it alone and just rebuild because I don't mind a good, start over. But it's kind of like, fuck, you know what I mean? But the people that I care about, that I actually do things with, are all there already. So I'm good. But it also gives me time to work on my next moves for the next Halloween, which we all know once it hits like July 5th, it's on. Like Halloween season.
You start getting your things together.
But that's when shit starts to fucking fly. When Halloween Happy drops those 100 days of Halloween, I know that's when the season starts. It's happening. So it'll be nice to actually prepare for that instead of just doing it on the fly this year. You see what I mean?
Mine will start in about late March.
Late March? Okay.
This year was still kind of
LA.
This year was still kind of up and down. We didn't know,
It was a really weird year. Definitely a weird funk ass year. Like, I can't say it was good or bad. It was just different. A lot of
it was kind of like a wait and see type of thing because especially definitely. In like with the difference of LA and Orange County, like different rules apply to like certain things. So it's like, all right, I got to go to this event. is it in LA or is it in Orange County? So you know exactly what to prepare for as far as
tell
like
us about that. I didn't hear about
Well,
that. Like, what was the
and
difference?
it's weird for me because I know, and I'll let Justin talk too, but
Yeah.
for me, like I live in LA County, work in Orange County, so it's kind of a mind fuck for me every day because like I don't know whether to wear a mask or not. You know, like I don't really know. I forget what rules I'm supposed to be under.
Well,
So-
explain that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
so what? Orange County is just like, hey, fuck the pandemic. We ain't got one of those here.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah,
County's
basically
fuck
Orange County's brave. OC is I never saw them as this. I just saw them as just
I
that's
knew
just
this.
OC.
Right.
But I'm like, all right. Like I never really paid too much mind, but I'm like, all right, you guys are kind of pushing it now, man. Like it's kind of scary. Like you know what I mean? Like
Like they get
it's
mad
like
at you for
sometimes
wearing
it's
a
cool
mask.
because it's like you know you go to a Red Robin, you want to eat inside, you know what I mean? But and it's like you know they allow that there, but then it's like you see other people and it's just like, oh yeah, if I'm allowed, so is that crazy motherfucker over there too? And it's like you know what? No, I think I'm good. I think I should have got this to go. And then it's like in LA, it's kind of like, oh man, I want to go here, but I also don't want to be in the scorching sun, you know, eating this ice cream sandwich that's gonna melt. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of like you gotta see what kind of day it is to plan it out and everything.
Wow.
But yeah,
so
was,
it's
Orange County's
inconsistent.
definitely more lax. For
very too lax.
That was polite, David.
Yeah. I know.
You know, I try to be.
I'll say it. Orange County's on some bullshit. Like that's Mississippi shit right there. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Orange County's stupid. I love that place too. Like you know, you got Disneyland, you got fucking a lot of haunts, and a lot of my favorite people live in Orange County. But what the fuck is wrong with them? Oh yeah, I know. Misfit Nightmare lives in LA.
The difference.
Yeah. You have to understand that Orange County is very Caucasian. A lot of Trump supporters.
If you're feeling brave, you know, come on down. We'll take a stroll through there, show you some spots.
Well, I just read this morning, which again is another thing don't do when you're depressed or when you're feeling down or anxious. Don't read the fucking news. I read. It's funny.
What's
Chuck
the
gave
news?
up. Yeah, Chuck gave up LA News. He's like, fuck California news. I don't live there anymore. I'm like, well, I have not given up. I still feel like I'm on a permanent on a very long vacation living up here. Like, I still feel like every time I cry, I'm still observing every raindrop. I'm like, oh my God, it's raining. We were at this fucking Bigfoot Sasquatch bar the other day. And the rules are I like the rules up here. They're still pretty strict. Like you better wear a fucking mask at this shit. And a lot of places still require vaccination or a negative COVID test. So I'm sitting here with this fucking Sasquatch thing and I had my little whiskey and I get up to go pee and it's just pouring and I just stood there looking at it like a freaking idiot. I don't care. But I feel like that I got, you know, but Chuck's already like, I don't live there anymore, so I don't give a fuck what happens. I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm reading the news and the Inland Empire apparently has a 4% increase in case hospitalizations. And I'm going,
well, they're kind of like OC.
Yeah.
Some part, or well, Rancho Cucamonga specifically is wanna be Orange
OC
County.
in the desert. That's
basically
what it is.
Yeah, it is a piece of shit place to be, but that wait, I want to see what Veronica said. Can we put that comment? It's fair that we get lots of stairs in white neighborhoods. Yeah, man, I remember I did my episode. One of my first shows was with Error 1984, Robbie, and we were living in California in Rancho Cucamonga at the time. This is why I spent my time in LA, Daryl, as much as I could. Because where I lived was just Trump land and fucking Karenville. Like they give birth to Karens. They named them Madison.
Karens.
Yeah. Yes. And so like he came through and he's like, what the fuck? Didn't you guys warn me? I got to drive through this shit. People were looking at me. And we lived right off the freeway too. He was like, I came through looking like I was going to get pulled over. And I'm like, fuck, I'm so sorry. I should have warned you. Justin and Veronica too. They were like, what the fuck what is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Rancho is a piece of shit. Don't live there. Don't be fooled by the cheap housing. It's not cheap, first of all. And your life They will not look at you okay because you're, first of all, you're black and you're different. So they don't like either one of those things. Unless you can be black, but you better be fucking rich.
Damn.
And a
I don't
Trump
know.
supporter.
I kind of want to
I'm
live there
guessing-
just to see, you know what I mean? Just to be like, I just want to like see
I
how
just wanna go
awkward
to
I can
a
make
party.
it.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Yes.
Throw
Challenge
parties,
accepted.
and I'll invite them
Yeah.
over, and
Push
then
those boundaries.
and then like
feel like
someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I can make like chips and salsa." Why would you do that, Becky? Why chips and salsa? Huh?
Let's reminisce
Where's-
again. Justin, do you remember that one time you were at my house in Rancho? You were at my house, you and Veronica were at my house. Let's reminisce. And then we're going to tell stories. And I don't know how to explain this. My son had a girlfriend. Okay. I have always been of the mindset as a mother with all my kids that learn your lessons the hard way. I'm not going to stop you from having a girlfriend or whatever. So my son had a girlfriend and she was white. And
Fluorescent.
her mom was a lot. But, you know, at the same time, she helped me a lot because I was getting started with Michelle Halloween, right? And she was like, "Oh, I'll take care of your, you know, the kid and that kid." And, you know, she helped me, you know, but I also didn't like her that much. But I just tolerated her for a very fucking long time because I thought they were in junior high. Those relationships usually don't last. This lasted a year and a half. Okay? Justin was at my house. This bitch comes into my house and just looks at Justin. Do you remember? Do you describe that situation? Remember?
I don't remember too much because I think like I had a few that night, but I do remember like just kind of staring back at her, kind of like I'm not like an asshole, but like I was just kind of not giving her a dirty look, but like a concerned look of like.
Why are you putting olives on tacos?
Yeah,
that conversation.
And it was just like,
Wow.
why are you kind of like staring at me for? Like, yeah, like I do you think you know me or something? Like I was just genuinely concerned. Like I was like, why is this woman staring at me? Cocky side of me was kind of like, oh, she wants this. She wants this.
Probably.
You know?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because you know that they say about those cliche housewives.
Oh yeah, they want the pool boy, the gardener,
The dark
there's a bunch
gardener, yeah.
they want all that stuff.
Like, why are Mexicans here?
Well, she probably thought that like we're doing a job interview and I was gonna mow your lawn. You know what I mean? I can get you on Wednesdays. You know what I mean?
She knew about you, and that's just the whole thing. Bitch still came in like she owned my place, but I rented it too. You didn't pay me no rent. Like, anyways, I just fucking Rancho. Like, and she was one of the ones that was like, and she's not even the worst one. She's one of the top, but she's not even the worst. There's a queen that lives out there, queen that I can't. We'll get into that another time, but that was some bullshit. But that's just the other thing about us is that, again, the community rallies. Like, you know who your friends are, especially when you reach out to them or they reach out to you. Like, that's always been important to me based on my experiences living in Rancho Cucamonga. So even with all the bullshit going on within the horror community in LA, I haven't played into any drama here in the PNW, and I'm not going to, as much as I can help it. But as much as there's that drama, it's nothing compared. It's a lot, and there's a lot of bullshittery going on, but it's nothing compared to the real problems that we're facing on a day-to-day basis. So to me, you guys are my Halloween hangover, because I know that when I'm feeling shitty, especially, the three of you on the screen are people I can just DM and be like, "What's up? How you doing?" I know Daryl and I sometimes go months without talking. I know sometimes you just shut off your Instagram. You're like, I ain't doing that shit. But you always come back or you text me. You know what I mean? So it's like, you guys are my Halloween hangover. Because I know come December, January is a shit month too, man. That month's boring as fuck. That's the month that Zachariah, I know November's kind of like rest and reflect. That's January for me. January is such a crappy, like, why does it exist? January sucks. And
January
it's
never
long.
goes by fast.
No, it doesn't. It's the slowest shit ever. And I heard up here it's like the coldest month. And I've noticed Yeah, I've noticed, and it's cold. Like it's 50 something. The highs are in the mid 50s. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love my weather. But how am I going to endure? I'll be fine because I actually am enjoying staying inside. But like January feels like an entire year in itself. Yeah, and you are a message away always. I really would love for you guys to come up here.
Oh yeah,
But
we
I
are.
also know I need to come down there again. It's just going to be a minute. I want to come in December. Just depends on money and my mindset. And if my kids, I have adult kids that live in California, so are they going to come up? I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of playing things as they go along. But we also have to talk about how we're going to get through like January. That's a tough one. There's like hardly any. I know we have some kind of convention up here, but I've noticed that things start shutting down. Like my favorite new coffee spot closes at 4. The Vancouver Farmers Market isn't happening until spring or summer. What else is stopping? There's the goth clubs, but I don't feel like doing that.
It'll be a ghost town here in my town.
Yeah,
January.
I'm noticing that these cold weather places kind of just like sit home. And to me, that's perfect writing shit. That's where I watch Misery for inspiration. That's where I watch The Secret Window, shit like that. I know, Z, I know you're coming, babe. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I know you'll be here, rain and all. Greenery, shrubs, moss, trees and forest, and like I can't wait to take you guys to my favorite rejuvenation spots, because when I do feel like shit, I could just go outside. I don't have to turn on the AC and pretend I'm living in the PNW. I can just go a short drive away, even a walk away if I wanted to, for some peace. But how are you guys going to deal with things after Christmas? How are you going to deal with January this year?
I'm gonna just be a hermit.
It sounds nice. You know what I mean? It really does sound appealing. I honestly, like, I may shut everything down at that point, social media wise, keep my DMs for my friends and my texts open. Other than that, I think I'm going to hibernate like a bear. What about you two?
Yeah, January is kind of a break month in a way, because you kind of there's not much going on. So you can kind of just like relax. Be like, okay, I'm going to take this month to just rejuvenate, chill out, and not do as many things. I mean, hey, if there's something comes up, then cool. But yeah, I think January is a regeneration month.
I would love it if you guys came up in January.
That would be
great, especially if you tell me it's cold out there. Like I love the cold weather, and like the woods. Like watching. I know you're not like a travel type of page, but like when I see like your videos of like you like driving and it's all the woods, I'm like, I like that. I really
see those
fucking
pictures
like that.
You guys in the woods.
It's like when you guys
sick of
go fishing, that pond that you were at, I was like, dude, I want to fish. Hell yeah.
You guys aren't
the fish
bored
is
of
probably
those?
clean out there too. Huh?
Oh my God, you won't even like, no shit. Okay, so imagine like when you meditate. I don't know what I imagine when I meditate. I'm at like this very clear water place, right? I shit you not. The water here, it's not that it's crystal blue Hawaii clear, but it's like this perfect green clear. And it's like, it is majestic as fuck. There is magic in that fucking water. I'm sitting here watching leaves swirling into the like little currents and shit and everything. I have a favorite river that we go to just for, not for fishing, but for just like tranquil, just to like kind of chill out. So Chuck knows what to do. He's like, oh, you're feeling shitty. Let's go. Get up. Let's go. Come on. Go on a daybreak. And I shit you not, instantly I'm like, fuck, this place is perfect. But it's like this
that
clear...
LA toxic wastewater,
right? And what I was right or man-made. I had found like Mount Baldy was the only spot that I would seek some of that naturistic solace at. Please leave that comment up. But Mount Baldy got fucking crowded, dude. Like, I remember it snowed in January 2020 down there in SoCal, and in the mountainous areas, but Chuck and I had to drive for hours just to find a spot that wasn't packed full of fucking people. And people in California suck. I can change lanes here and people let me, okay? Like without
so
me
polite.
having to be arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to find like things to complain about, but I can't find much, other than it's very white, but it's also not that white. Like I have found more, indigenous people here. I have found more people of color here, where I'm just like, why does this feel so good? Even the white people are amazing. Like the ones that I seem to gravitate towards, like, holy shit. And some of them I'm like, like the dude I was telling you about with the Halloween shirt, the haunt dude. I never would have talked to him if I were in LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was something about him, he's so fucking friendly. And then next thing I know, I find out that he has a bunch of mixed kids or people in his family. And I'm like, what the fuck? I love it here. The only thing I haven't seen is black goths. Not too many. They kind of just hide. People like to keep to themselves up here, and I appreciate that because it makes me feel like, cool, I can just stay home then.
It sounds like a lot of my cousin. My cousin moved out there in Washington, and he was telling me like his first week there. He's like, bro, like I just tripped out because some dude said hi to me. I was like, what do you mean? It's like we were walking, like I was walking towards him, he was walking towards me, like on the same sidewalk, and like I looked at him, like because I'm used to like if someone's walking towards me, kind of keep an eye on them, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And then the guy looked at me. He noticed I was looking at him, and he just smiled. He was like, "Hey, good morning. How you doing today?"
And you're like,
yeah. And then my cousin said like, I couldn't even get a word out. I was like, good. And he's like, that's good to hear. Yeah. And he just kept on walking. And then he texted me right after that. I was like, what the? I was like, yeah, dude, I would react the same way. It's hard to talk to people in LA because you don't know how they're gonna be. You don't know how they're gonna react. You know what I mean? And it's just
they're gonna spit on you if they're gonna be like.
Everyone's fast here in LA, so its attitude changes 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's just
even in the Halloween community. It's the same thing with the Halloween community. Like what I observed, and tell me if I'm wrong. Outside looking in, Daryl, I don't know how much you watch the LA scene, but what I observed this year, first of all, was a lot of it was fuck, dude, I'm missing out. But then I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to go to that. Why is there a horror convention in Victimville?
Yeah.
I heard it was a cool show, but like, what the fuck? And I'm seeing a lot of imitation, and I'm seeing, people building off of each other. And then I see people like us who are like, oh fuck, we got to hurry up and go to all of it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, I started seeing people getting hurt. Some people going, I'm just staying home. Fuck this. I saw a lot of things where LA is so, and you're right, it's so like 0 to 1,000 even in a matter of moments from walking outside your house. Not to mention that it's fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very condensed. Like even up here, like I remember we were in traffic once, and Chuck was like, "This is not traffic," because I was like, "Why is it taking so long? We live." He's like, we've only been on the damn freeway for 10 minutes. What the fuck are you bitching about? And no, is there traffic, but there's also a forest in the traffic. You're like in forest traffic. So I don't mean to turn this into like a PNW hype thing, but it's just like, it is so fucking beautiful up here. It's so distracting. And, I don't want my friends to think that I'm ignoring them or I'm flaking or I'm falling off the map. No, I'm
enjoying it.
I'm in awe.
We're taking it all in.
Yeah, I'm in a dreamland, and I'm still on that California mindset where I'm like, I still get nervous when people are like, "Oh my god!" One girl stopped me in my tracks once and said, "I love your whole whatever that like." And I'm like, "The fuck do you mean?" She's like, "You're just fucking beautiful." Remember that? And I was like,
aww.
I look like shit, but thank you.
You got like a nice version right there. Like I experienced like a whole culture shock when I went to Utah to do a haunt out there.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like I went into the gas station.
A special place.
Utah, it's a good. I'm gonna go back. Like I love Utah, like especially those Midville. Like that's where I was staying at. It was a nice little small town, like almost, And but the thing that got me though was like how different like things were. Was I went into the gas station that's right by my motel, and the guy that's walking out, he holds the door open for me, but he's just like looking me up and down, like kind of like it's like, huh, like okay, like he's like, and it was like, and I was like thinking like to myself, I was like, well, this guy acts like he's never seen a Mexican before, and then like as soon as I walk in, the cashier, he's like yelling, he's like, hey, don't mind him, man. We just don't get a lot of you around here. I was like, wait, what? He's like,
Whoa.
Mexicans. I was like, oh, so he's never seen a Mexican before. I was like, okay. He was like,
Oh,
yeah, we
wow.
rarely get them. It's like, I was like, what the hell? And I was like, he was like, eh. And then that was it. But it was like culture shock a little bit. I was like, man, I feel really, really alone now. Like I feel like I'm like probably one of 12.
If that, because
Yeah.
you know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I noticed that if you stay closer to like the coast with water, you know,
Mhm.
the more cultural, you know, people are, except for Orange County.
Yeah.
but Orange County, you get the culture, but you also get like they're like Mexican Trump people, you know what I mean? But I've
Yeah.
also noticed, I remember I saw a TikTok because I am obsessed. That's how I pass like sometimes where I just need to laugh. I watch TikToks. And so I remember one dude is a black dude, and he was in Washington and talking about how like excited he was to be here, how like what I do, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's my nigga right there. Like, I feel it too. Except then I looked at the comments, which I try not to do, but sometimes I feel compelled. And people were like, don't tell him about Eastern Washington, though. The closer you get to that, you don't tell him about Eastern.
Gonna mess up the whole thing right there.
We are not going to, like, there's this Krampus event. It's like 4 hours away. That's another thing about up here. It's 4 hours away in Washington. It's called Leavenworth, and it's having this whole Krampus thing. But I'm like, oh, it's kind of like mid Washington. I don't think I can feel safe going there. You know what I mean? Like, I'll find a Krampus event in Portland. But it's funny, like, because the travel thing, Misfit Nightmare was just saying that I need some friends because I don't have any. So maybe I will work something out and overcome my fear of traveling to different states. That fear, I will not invalidate your fear of traveling. I am the same way, especially in this day and age. Even though I have, you know, a white man and pretty Caucasian kids, it's still terrifying to travel in this day and age because these motherfuckers are bold. And I'm starting to see an uptick in bullshittery from them again. Maybe it's because we were distracted by Halloween or whatnot. But I think another thing is important for us to do is to travel. We do need to travel. But we also have to do so safely, especially when we're melanated. Like, you know, but travel is an important thing. But just know that I'm a safe spot. Just we have to work out logistics as far as travel, how well that you're going to vibe with my family and other things like that. But if you can travel, do so with other people, because I think travel is another way to overcome, you know, depression. It is a way to overcome, you know, these
There's never
Halloween
nothing
blues
wrong
that
with
we're
a change
having.
of scenery.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful to have a change of scenery.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I say we would go to like Mount Baldy just to get a sense of forestry when we were in Southern California. And just for a little bit, because that's all we really had. Pasadena, Zachary was saying like Pasadena is some bullshit. And I kind of, you know, I don't get it. It is so, and people are like, well, that's LA. I'm like, you don't get it. LA is not, it's great, but it's also bullshit. Like, there was a $5.5 billion stadium that my son just went to, and I had to give him the mom lecture. Like, that's great. I'm happy you're having that experience at this football stadium, but do you realize that there's people living outside of that money could have went towards? There's like 2 football stadiums in LA. Why did they need that? Why? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my thought.
There's no need for that.
But as a Halloweener, as a weirdo, that's how we think, though, right? We kind of, especially in our little circle, we kind of think about more than just us and what we want. We think about the people that make up this community that we fit into, because we didn't fit into anywhere else. You see what I mean? And my whole point of this story is the Halloween and horror community is there for each other all year long. You know, we can share our Halloween ideas with our trusted friends. Just be careful, because sometimes that's not the right thing to do. I've learned from experience. Yeah, right. The world is just bullshit, and we only have this community of weirdos to confide in. You know, we all have our separate groups even in that, but it's still nothing compared to what's out there in the real world. You know, so that's my cure for Halloween hangovers. You guys, thoughts? Go for it. Let's talk about stories. I want to know, what was your most memorable moment of this October?
Oh, that's, if I may, that's got to be the Dark Harvest, because it was my very first corn maze, and I was lucky I was
shit.
surrounded
Oh,
with
yeah.
friends. You know, Dave and his lovely wife Jen was there. You know, Dan, I don't know his wife's name. I'm sorry, Dave, if you can help me out. From Real Big Family Adventures.
Yes,
Oh, they're
Um,
so cool.
yeah, yeah, wonderful family. So
Yeah.
like, two adorable daughters, nicest people ever. Who else? Anthony from Nights of Horror was there. We've had some other people. You know, some of the other like
yeah, it was like
yeah,
a congregation of everyone.
yeah. It was a media night there, and it was like, you know, it was just nice, and really to see how I remember going to these people's events when they were known as the Flesh Yard. And so being there, you know, from the Flesh Yard to now, it's kind of like, man, they really evolved, and they really like worked hard and like put something really great together. And it was just nice just to go through an event with Dave, because we've talked about it ever since we first met in the IKEA parking lot. And and which that's another story.
That was so
Infamous.
much fun.
You want to talk about hangovers? The day after that night was, oh my god. It was like, you know, yeah, like, you know, so it was nice to finally check that off of our little buddy list, you know, and it's just you know, that's by far my favorite memory there. I mean, this
I
year.
love that. And again, the fact that I just love seeing you guys together this season. Like it made me feel so fucking good and a little bit of accomplished. Like that's my
Yo.
whole point is being Michelle Halloween is to bring people together. You know, I've always been that kind of person that just brings people together. And I'm happy. I could die happy. All right, David, your turn.
So Dark Harvest was definitely a highlight, but I would say my favorite things, and I'm gonna just have to give it to a group of things, was the home haunts this year. Like the home haunts were just insane, and I only got to hit 4 of them just because season's so crowded, and I wish I could have hit more. But Santa Ana haunt, Corona haunt, Great Phantom, of course.
Oh,
And
yes, fucking Ernie.
oh my god, yeah, it's just there's one more I'll remember before the end of this conversation.
Bellows.
But I
can't
didn't
think
make
of
it
the
out to
ones down
Bellows,
there.
but Pirates Cave.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
All these were in houses, right? Just people's houses, and the insane effects, the insane amount of work they put into it. The themes, they were all different. Like you had a Pirates Cave, obviously Pirates themed. You had Santa Ana haunt, which was like a hell themed haunt, which was crazy. It was like the first time I'd ever seen that. And then you had Corona haunt, which was like kind of like a little bit of everything. It just, I mean, those places. Shout out to everybody, and you know, and to everybody I didn't get to, I'm gonna hit you next year if possible, because everybody just did an insane job this year. I know last year was a lot of yard displays because of the pandemic. This year, they ended up just opening their homes, and Justin was at a lot of the ones that I was at, you know. And man,
the Santa Ana haunt is the most memorable one, besides Ernie, because, you know, we all love Ernie. You know, Ernie, that's you know, Ernie, but like
Ernie
could go to any of the big boys.
He is. He's a really nice guy.
He could go to Knott's, he could go to Universal, and he could fit in easy. But he chooses to do his home haunt, and I'm glad he does.
Yeah,
exactly.
Ernie is a gift to you know, the SoCal horror community, because I mean, Daryl, if you, I'll send you some photos. But no shit, there is a fucking ship in this dude's front yard. Full scale ship.
He built like a ghost ship in his front yard.
It is insane.
That is amazing.
It really is, and like our descriptions won't ever do Ernie justice. But the fact on the matter is that this dude is humble as fuck. He's just super nicest guy. Like, I call him one of my best friends, because we could go months without talking, but the minute we do, it's like, oh my god, like, just, and it's genuine, but just such a good person. But I didn't go to any of these haunts, but I know that they saved Halloween last year, so I think they deserve as much respect and recognition and viewership. I know Rick West from Midsummer Scream did everything he could to be at all those motherfuckers.
To me,
you know what I mean?
And I went to both Knott's and Universal, and to me, I'd choose any of these guys over Knott's.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, same. Same.
Any day.
And they do it because they love it, not because it's an obligation to the movie companies or
exactly.
You know what I mean? Or the teenagers that I love Knott's. That's my favorite large scale, haunt, but they can't. I wish they wouldn't allow kids in there, dude. Like
honestly,
21 and over. Right?
Yeah,
they
21. We need to have like 1 weekend of 21 and over, because that boysenberry beer will get you. It's a creeper. Oh, I love it.
What about
so much.
you, Shadow Slider? What was your most memorable moment for this October?
Honestly, believe it or not, I had Chick-fil-A thrown in my face. We have a Chick-fil-A inside of so my area, there's a tunnel, and so we have fog machines in the tunnel. So of course I like to slide inside of said tunnel. So we have a Chick-fil-A inside of the park here. So of course I was playing around and doing my little thing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to clear the tunnel. I shot through the tunnel. I got to the end, and I happened to pop up in this woman's face, and she had her leftover Chick-fil-A and just heaved it at me and ran away.
I guess that's why they don't allow drinks and food in most haunts in LA. Because haunt scare actor abuse is a real thing, and it makes my ass violent. I get violent if I see a scare actor fucking get attacked. Ask my family. If I see a scare actor get violent or get attacked, I lose my shit. Like,
I think it was mostly fight or flight.
I had my first experience.
Still, but then you sign disclosures for this shit, or not disclosures.
It's on the ticket. It's like this scary something horror. Do not. That pisses me off. But that's your favorite moment. That's not funny. Drunken sailor. It's not funny that he got Chick-fil-A thrown in his face.
To me, I wasn't ready for it. And what was really great about it was watching the one security guard there, just like his whole he was trying to hold it in so bad. And I'm just standing there for a moment, like, I was in shock because, like, I've had weird things happen. I've had people throw their drink on me, drop their drink, do the normal thing. But just for me to come up and, like, this guest just be so afraid at me, they had their leftover and I just tossed it in the garbage, and I kept going. And, like, I told my location supervisor, and she lost it.
He cares about the environment. Yes, he's dressed up as like some like soul demon, but he cares about the planet.
I was so confused because, like I said, it was filled with fog, so I was kind of just taking my time, having fun. But I got to the end, and this woman just screamed. And next thing I knew, I'm like, no, that didn't really happen. No, that didn't really happen.
I guess that's just it. That you did such a good job scaring this motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's a compliment. Maybe it's a weird compliment.
Like, if I had my Burgerville, okay, this is a chain up here that I love, Burgerville. If I had my Burgerville burger in a haunt and I happen to throw it, I guess I could see the point of view that means you did a really good job because I like my food. And I would have been like, Chuck, I need another burger after this.
At first, I couldn't hear you. Like, I thought you said Chipotle. So I was like, oh, my God, you got salsa, like, on your face and stuff. But when you said it again, I was like, oh, Chick-fil-A. Okay. Even the way that still hurt, like a nugget, like a little chicken nugget coming at you at, like, high speed. That's ballistic right there. That's
What's
deadly.
Really funny is that I couldn't even tell you what was in the bag, really, because, like, I didn't even bother to look. It was just, it happened so quickly. And like I said, by the time I processed, I'm like, and the woman literally ran. It was me up in front of her, bag, her, ran. And I'm just like, wait, what?
Wait.
I just have to tell you, my husband is dying right now. He's cracking the fuck up. And he doesn't find anything this humorous.
The whole, just being able to scare this year was just really my favorite thing, and just being around people. But, like, I honestly will never forget that. Like I said, I told my supervisor and she lost it. And I'm just, like, holding on to this one because 5 years down the road, my son might even ask, well, Dad, what was something that you remember? Got Chick-fil-A thrown at me. No way.
Gosh, man. I guess that's better than me trying to throw down with some teenagers at Not Scary Farm. You got me beat there. I don't feel guilty
Wait, you
about
try
that
to
at
what
all.
with some? You try to throw down
We've
like
had
fight
this.
them?
I told you. Remember when we met at Not Scary Farm that one time? And I told you, like, I
Oh,
love this place, but these motherfucking teens, dude, like this
yeah.
bitch
That
and
was
her
the same year.
boyfriend.
Veronica almost got into it with some kids too, because they kept bumping into us and screaming right in our ears. It's like, we're not your parents. Get away from us! Like, what the? Yeah, they were holding on to her backpack too. So like,
Oh
like
hell no!
survival instinct. Like, you trying to steal my stuff or what? No. And also too, I was just all like, you guys are kids and we're adults. We don't know you. Get away from us. No,
And I feel like kids be
inappropriate.
trying to trap. Yeah, they be trying to trap shit. You know, Orange County. Oh,
There
this
you
is how
go.
they make their money. They sue. They lawsuit up. Try to
Yep.
start a fight with an adult, a 35. How old was I? Like when I almost fought those kids. 30. I think I was 33, 32.
Just love that
33?
sentence. Well, I almost fought those damn kids.
I was drunk. It's not my fault. It was their fault. Fucking pissed me off, dude.
I got kind of lost with like the kids barking, and then somebody told me it was like a TikTok trend because like at one point there was some of us that actually wanted to bring dog treats with us, but like we enjoy our job, so we didn't want to like. But yeah, I had a few kids like I'd go to scare them and they'd start barking at me, and I was even more confused because I was like, "What's going on? What are you tiny humans doing?
About the barking?
Why are you barking at me for?"
I don't know. Yeah, I hate unsupervised children at scare events. Like, I hate it because ever since that one time at Knott's, I'm like, fuck these kids. I remember I brought a group of teenagers to Knott's Scary Farm at the end of Halloween 2019, and I got up in their faces, these kids, because some of them were mine. I was like, look, motherfuckers.
Okay, it's fine, man.
If you fucking act like these motherfuckers around here, I'm serious. This is exactly what I did. I pointed my finger. Ask Chuck. You guys act. If I get word that you're acting like all these other motherfuckers around here too, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Yes, I did just burp twice. I will whoop your ass, and you're gonna go sit on the curb until I'm done at these haunts. That's even if I get word that you said fuck too loud, or I will whoop your ass. I don't whoop ass, but they were like, Mom. I was like, I'm just saying, I will humiliate you in front of everyone. You know, I don't do that.
Oh.
God, I am God. Okay. But my kids know
You're
they've been with me
giver.
to Knott's though. They've been with me to Knott's before where they've seen me react to teenagers. Besides that one time where I almost threw down with it, I'm like, so my kids are like, Mom, you're so embarrassing. I'm like, watch me embarrass you then. Shut the fuck up. Or you beat up this kid. Like, I can't do it. You go beat him up. Their parents, kids get on my nerves, dude. I love my kids. They get on my nerves. Especially teenagers trying to show off, like, you know what I mean? So maybe that's another Halloween hangover thing, is sharing stories about fucking kids that we want to whoop their ass. Like, you know, haunt kids. Sorry, look at David. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh no, I tell you that. Yeah, no, that's a whole nother discussion that we could have. Annoying
kids?
Teenagers at haunts.
Yeah, they don't
God.
belong there. They do not, unless they're like the kids like this. What was the 1870 Haunt Manor? They didn't do anything this year, did they?
No, last
they
year was their
didn't.
last year.
Yeah.
What
They
do you
sold
mean
out.
last year?
Yeah, last year was their last.
This was a child,
event.
a 17-year-old kid who built this full-scale fucking like
I
320
know.
haunt. Yeah,
I
like
know.
those kids are acceptable.
Yeah.
But
Wait, how old did you say?
he was
He was like
16,
16, 17, yeah.
Yeah, build a
Yeah, they had
full-scale
They had
haunt.
some former Knott's actors there too. It was
Mhm.
it was insane, but
It was
yeah,
bomb.
I think they sold off their stuff.
Yeah.
Why? Are they moving?
I know. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're on to different
I
ventures.
think they did. I think someone moved.
That's
I
insanity.
forgot, but yeah,
there's a few of
them,
like
Twisted Mind Productions, and
Whole House. They moved. I
yeah,
think they moved to Arizona.
I wonder, did anyone
Uh,
follow up with them this year? Like, how did they do anything, or are they just settling in Arizona?
wait, who did? Which one?
I think Whole House did something.
Whole House.
I'll have to double check. Yeah, I didn't.
Murder House is
like
another
you
one.
said, like you said,
MHP
Michelle,
didn't do
that's
anything? Oh, sorry.
No,
What
they
That's
did.
the
Well, they
cool
did something
thing
in the
about-
off season.
yeah. That's the cool thing about traveling, though. You get to experience all these other places, like
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like
you know.
and that's one of the things, like I love Avenue Obscura because it's the whole point is like we all know about Not Scare Fun, we know about Universal, we know about these
Mhm.
popular things. Let me know about the weird shit. Like I remember I went to the very first Witches Brew. You know what I mean? And that event is for life at this point. You know, it's grown. That's the shit that I'm talking about.
Witch's Brew is
and
insane.
It is so good, but again, I love it because it's not for everybody. It's not for every haunt person or Halloween person. It has its, it has its thing. Oh, I don't know. I love talking Halloween. And I think another part of, keeping each other sane during these awkward months, is making sure that we talk about our memories and our stories. You know what I mean? Murder House did a lot, but it wasn't. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I did hear about that. You're right. I did hear about
No.
that. Murder House production is dope. First of all, it's a queer owned, queer built, haunt, which made me fall in love with it right away. And the detail is insane. And there's the love for it. But I did hear that, so I wasn't sure if that was a real thing. Something, again, we could look, oh shit, it's January. Let me research what happened in October with Murder House Productions. You know what I mean? Or just message Daryl, hey, how's your finger doing? You ready for, some more 360s or whatnot? But anyways, you guys, this has been great. I am going to wrap it up though. I want to make sure that everyone watching tonight or listening, because I know that this live show is pretty cool and all, but I remember Raw of the Dead going, I can't watch. I got to work, so I like listening to this shit on the way. Just know that these live streams are actually available via podcast version next day. What is in this? Making me burpy. These are available for audio, and of course they're always on YouTube. Make sure that you're following each and every one of these badass mofos right here, because they get me through against three of my best friends here. Spooky Little Halloween, the fact that she is a Halloween motherfucking queen, international shit, was
Love
able
her.
to make that video and come on, and is always willing to teach and help out, does Halloween 365 and works at it. Also, they are children. Murder House production. They're not children. They're legal adults, but that's pretty young. And
Young
I love
adults.
that. Yeah, young adults. I love seeing this next generation embrace all this stuff. You know what I mean? Embrace all this, because they're the ones that are going to be like, when we're David, Justin, and Daryl, when we're like rolling in as like Ozzy, and shit at these haunts with our red carpets and shit, not doing it. We're just there to enjoy. They're the ones that are going to be like, I learned from you. And that's where we're going to be like, we're old.
Yeah.
But the stories, I think our stories, our reminisce, our history, our tales, all that gets us through the whole season. And that's what I intend to write about. So you can read that shit all year long. Anyways, make sure you're following Scardiecat, Vasquez, Avenue Obscura, and Shadow Slider, Zachariah the Witch, Misfit Nightmare, and everyone in the comments tonight that aided in this conversation. Veronica, I love you guys. You guys are fucking epic. I'm not going to leave until Daryl's able to say goodbye. There you are. All right, everyone, have a great night. If you have any other input for, Halloween hangovers, make sure you just, tell us in our comments. Hit us up.
Shoot us messages. We're always down to talk. Everybody watching.
Yep.
DM us.
And it's Halloween every day. So yay. Hope everyone feels better. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.